and I'd like to welcome you to HackNC 2023. Thank you so much for coming, and we're so excited to have you guys. First, I'm going to do a brief event overview. What exactly is a hackathon? Well, you have just about 24 hours to build and submit a project. There are absolutely no restrictions on what your project can be, but it has to be new code. You can use open source code, but you will only be judged on what you have written. There are several tracks that you can apply to win awesome prizes. Everyone is automatically entered into the general and beginner tracks, but you can also opt into the game, mobile, UX, and sponsor prizes. Just a quick note that our team size maximum is 4 hackers, and please remember to submit your project on Jeff's post before 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'd like to present HackNC's board of directors. We worked really hard for the past 4 months to make this event come together, so we hope you all enjoy. Now, why is HackNC for you? Or why are you here? You have the opportunity to create something truly special at this hackathon. As Dr. Frederick Brooks said, why is programming fun? First is the sheer joy of making things. You all will be making amazing projects this weekend, and we can't wait to see them. HackNC supports your creation in 4 main ways. First, fuel in the form of delicious food and snacks, education through workshops and speaker panels, support from our amazing mentors, and finally, a community of innovative and like-minded individuals. You are creative, and we celebrate that here at HackNC. You have the opportunity to achieve. Again, in the words of Dr. Frederick Brooks, why is programming fun? The pleasure of making things that are useful to other people. You guys have the power to make your programming solutions change the world and positively impact those around you. Now, why do that here? HackNC rewards you for achieving with prizes, peer collaboration, and meeting our amazing sponsor companies. We challenge you to solve a problem you have or know about. Don't be afraid to persevere and strive to achieve. Lastly, here you have an opportunity to connect. As Dr. Martin Luther King said, personal growth cannot take place apart from meaningful relationships with other persons. At HackNC, you can connect with innovative hackers, UNCCS clubs, and industry connections through our sponsors. What does HackNC add? Hundreds of people with common interests, and a lot of companies to connect with. I'll now pass on the mic to my co-lead director, Shashank, for more event logistics.
Thanks, Brianna. Hey everyone, I'm Shashank. I'll run you through a few logistical details. First and most importantly, we request everyone to join our Discord if you're not already on there. This will be our main form of communication throughout the weekend. So if you just go to tinyurl.com/HackNC2023 Discord or you scan the QR code, we have all the announcements on our Discord. You can feel free to learn more about workshops, find teams using the team formation channels. We have event support channels, random channels. We also have a costume contest channel, so if you're wearing a costume, I see a couple of you in there. Feel free to post a picture. You might end up winning one of these cool crewnecks tomorrow. And then obviously the mentor support channel is really important. We have more information on how that's set up in our hacker guide. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise a ticket, and then one of our mentors should be able to help you as soon as so I'll just quickly run you through the schedule for this weekend. I'll label the most important events throughout the weekend. Obviously, the opening ceremony is until 11:30, and that's when check-in starts, right after the end of the opening ceremony. Sorry, that's when hacking starts, right at the end of the opening ceremony. After that, we have 3 workshops from 11:30 to 12:30. Lunch is from 12 p.m. So if you're in a workshop, don't worry. Right after the workshop ends, you can head over and grab lunch in Feds or Gym A. And at 2 p.m. we have a couple of talks and workshops. And then at 3 p.m. we have more workshops. 4 p.m. is like one of the most exciting things this weekend, the boba break. I'll talk more about how you can actually get boba, but that's at 4 p.m. today. We have more workshops after that, up until 6 p.m. At 6:30 we have dinner from IP3. At 8 p.m. we have a Smash Bros tournament. And then that'll obviously cap off the events for tonight. Just to mention, we'll also have a really fun MLH mini event at 5 p.m. The actual location will be decided bit later, but it'll be really fun if you have some fun and de-stress from your coding project. And tomorrow will be relatively, I guess, less hectic. Breakfast at 8 a.m. just like today. Hacking ends at 11:30, so by 11:30 we need all of your dev code submissions. We cannot make any exceptions past 11:30. So you need both a demo video and everything else that the dev code submission requires. You need to get that in by 11:30, and then that's when our judges will start looking at your projects and all of that. At 12 p.m. we have lunch from Cosmic. At 1, judging starts. So from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. we have like a demo fair where we assign you to tables and judges walk around Federal Gym A and you basically demo your projects to them in person. That's from 1 to 3 p.m. From 3 to 4 p.m. is when judges basically deliberate and figure out who wins what prize. And at 4 p.m. we meet back in this exact room for the closing ceremony. And the closing ceremony should end by 5 p.m. and that's when the hackathon officially ends. Right, so getting to swag points. Who doesn't like swag, right? So this year, we're basically incentivizing everyone to go to as many workshops, talk to as many sponsors, and submit a project if you can. You can earn 1 point by attending a workshop. You can earn 1 point by talking to, I think, like one sponsor, and you can earn 2 points by submitting a project. But ideally, you want to earn as many points as you can today, because even though you earn points, swag is still first come, first serve. So the faster you earn points and the faster you grab your swag, the better chance you have of actually getting it, because we cannot guarantee that we'll still have enough left for tomorrow by the time you actually submit your project. Yeah. So just a quick run through of our tiers. You get 2 points. If you get 2 points, you get a t-shirt. If you get 4 points, you get boba at 4 p.m. So this is the catch. And at 8 p.m., sorry, and if you get 8 points, you get a really cool HackNC tote bag. So you obviously have enough opportunities to get all 8 points. We have 9 really cool sponsors coming in person today. We have a lot of workshops for you to attend, and it's obviously going to be really helpful for you guys to attend all of that. These are again a couple more rules on project submissions. You basically have to attach a video demo that's 2 minutes long and make sure that they're in by 11:30. We have 11 a.m. up here just in case you need that 30-minute buffer, but ideally you have the project submitted by 11 a.m. But obviously the latest you can submit it is 11:30 because that's exactly 24 hours from when hacking actually begins. And then every submission should include a GitHub link to any code that's written for your project. Each team can have at the most 4 people because that's the number of prizes we can give away. You might say, is it fine if you have 5 people and one doesn't win a prize? Unfortunately, that's not okay because that's really unfair for the other teams that have only 4 people working actively on a project. So at most you can have 4 people. So there'll be 4 people on your dev code submission and 4 people that will win prizes if you end up winning. And then, yeah. We do want to highlight a couple of special hacks. So one is the game dev hack. So these are all HackNC sponsored prizes. There's a game dev hack, a UI UX hack, and a mobile hack. Apart from these, HackNC also has first place and second place, and these 5 prizes will be awarded in both categories, in both the general track and the beginner track. So yeah, these are the 5 prizes we're giving away. First place, we're giving away 2nd generation AirPods. The second place, we're giving away an Echo Dot smart speaker. For game dev, it's a Logitech keyboard. For UI UX, it's a drawing tablet. And for mobile, it's a tile tractor. And then just a couple of reminders. Before you have any questions about the schedule, any logistics, please make sure to check out our live page on hacknc.com. You can either hit the live button or go to hacknc.com/live. We'll have the most up-to-date information there. We'll also have a lot of announcements in the announcements channel on Discord, so please make sure to check that out before reaching out to us for any help, any support. And obviously, since we're a Major League Hacking member event, we will abide by their code of conduct. If at any point during the hackathon you feel uncomfortable due to anything that happens, maybe another hacker is making you uncomfortable, it could be an organizer, it could be anyone, please make sure to reach out to one of us in the crew next. We are the organizing team with the directors, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can also fill out a Google form at tinyurl.com/HackNC2023 incident. We will probably have that pinned in one of our Discord channels, but please feel free to reach out as soon as something happens because we want this to be a safe and inclusive space for everyone to have fun. And then I'll just quickly hand over the mic to Azeeman, who's our MLH coach.
Hello, hello. My name is Azeeman, and I will be your MLH coach for this weekend. I use she, her pronouns, and a little fun fact about me is I played the piano for the past 20 years. Like it was mentioned before, everything you need to know this weekend is on the HackNC website, and make sure you connect on their Discord. Now let's talk about what is Major League Hacking. I had a lot of you come up to me and ask me, what do we do? We are the global hacker community with over 500,000 hackers just like you participating at hackathons all over the world. And being here, you get to win community points. What does that mean? It means the school with the most points gets a trophy at the end of the year. And make sure to join us at our next Global Hack Week. Now, what are we doing here this weekend? We're here to support the event and all of you. As mentioned before, we're going to have a Bob Ross painting event at 5 p.m. today, and I will be giving out MLH swag, so t-shirts, lanyards, a whole bunch of stickers, as some of you have seen on the table. This is what our t-shirt is for this season. And we also have a lot of resources and some amazing prizes you can win. As you've seen on the table, we have a lot of GitHub swag, a lot of GitHub stickers. We also have the best use of Google Cloud this weekend. This is the code, and we also have the code up at the MLH table. We have the best domain name from GoDaddy, and this is the code for this weekend. It's also at the table. We have the most creative use of Redis Cloud, and this is the coupon code, and it will be posted on the Discord, and it is on the dev post. And we have the best use of TinyMCE. And we also have some Web3 partners with us, which is Circle and Hedera for this weekend. So the best use of Hedera and the best use of Circle. If you need to see any of those again, check out the dev post. And if you do end up showing your hack this weekend, you do get an iDemo sticker specifically for HackNC. And if anybody's interested in internships, MLH has a career lab that we can talk about. And if an internship isn't for you, we also have a fellowship that's 12 weeks long that happens about 3 times a year. Now, on a more serious note, this is a safe environment. And if you feel unsafe for any reason, you can come to me or someone in a crew neck. And if you don't feel safe putting it in the Google Sheets that they have for you, you can also email MLH or you can call us and somebody else will be on the line. If you see anything, please come and say something. It is very, very important that we keep this a safe environment. Thank you again to all our partners and happy hacking.
Hey guys, thanks for making it out here this morning. We want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. So let's get in. First off, thank you to Wells Fargo. Without all of our sponsors, this event wouldn't be what it is today. We've grown throughout the years, and we want to give back to our sponsors as well. They'll also be here this weekend at the sponsor fair to help you guys out and for you guys to learn about their companies as well. So now we also have Principal as the sponsor. They have roles available for internships in software engineering, full-time roles, and data analytics and security engineers as well. Infosys is also here at the event. They work in analytics, founded 40 years ago, pretty big company, and has locations in Raleigh, North Carolina. And for their specific prize, I believe they have 2 prizes. One is a Infosys prize for their in-step internship, assigned primarily for juniors, as well as the best Infosys hack. And along with this, you win an Amazon Fire Stick, among other perks. We also have Cisco at the event, a multinational company that specializes in networking technologies. They'll be at the booth, have a Cisco workshop session, and if you win their Cisco prize, you get a JBL Flip with their case. Revenue's also at the event, and they primarily work within the health sector, creating health technologies. And they'll be at the sponsor fair, as well as I believe they have a workshop. We also have CapTech. So they also have internship programs as well, and they'll be at the sponsor fair. And they also offer a hackathon prize for a CapTech goodie sling bag and other swag. We also have Bandwidth, big company in the telecommunications sector, trusted by a lot of top enterprises with headquarters in Raleigh, and they will have a Bandwidth swag bag as well. And John Deere, tractor company primarily working in agriculture, founded in 1837, solving big problems. And they will have a John Deere Lego kit or hacks that work primarily in farming simulation and along with their core mission values. So that's John Deere. Pearson, working within education technology. And we also have the Pittsburgh Patient Safety Technology Challenge. To talk more about that, we will hand over to Luis.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Luis Torres Torija, and I'm representing the Pittsburgh Regional Health Initiative that has sponsored the Patient Safety Tech Prize here at HackNC. On Sunday, we will award $400 to the best tech-enabled patient safety solution. The Patient Safety Technology Challenge has been created by the Pittsburgh Regional Health Initiative as a way to create awareness about medical errors, a problem that causes the death of 250,000 Americans every year. Most of them are preventable. So we need innovators like you to develop solutions to these kind of problems. Maybe you can recall a friend or a family member that received wrong medication or suffer from an infection in a healthcare setting, or a delay in the treatment, mainly because of miscommunication. These are the kinds of problems that we want you to hack during this weekend. And maybe your idea becomes a business that change the healthcare industry, and most important, save lives. So we encourage you to go for the prize this weekend. Also today at 11:30, I will give a workshop about patient safety if you want to learn more about it. And well, I would love to see you there. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Who here's from North Carolina? Yeah, okay, I'm from North Carolina. I grew up in Cary, North Carolina. And who here goes to UNC? Yeah, awesome. Okay, I'm a 2019 UNC grad. So, I've done HackNC a couple times. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. This is my second time sponsoring this, and my first time giving one of these keynote speeches. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Zillis. I'm going to talk to you about vector databases and kind of the future of AI, what it looks like for the large language model landscape, as well as unstructured data. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about me while I do that. So, here is me. I'm currently a developer advocate at Zillis. I'm going to go through my history a little bit. I put up a QR code up there. That's my LinkedIn. If you want to scan the QR code, you can connect with me, talk to me on LinkedIn, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to just let people scan that. It looks like people are scanning that. Who here has worked in AI? Who here has worked on any AI project? You've created something with AI. Okay, now put your hand higher. Don't do this. What is this? All right, cool, nice. Okay, some of you guys. So I hope that in the next few minutes, what you hear from me will encourage you to kind of go more deep onto AI. I'm all in on this, and I think it really is the future. And as computer science students, you guys really should be focusing on how you work with machine learning and how you work with AI. Okay, so the takeaways from my talk, you're going to hear I think I have a pretty interesting story. And so these are the takeaways I want you guys to get from my talk. Life happens for you, doesn't happen to you. Don't be afraid to fail. I've failed so many times. And just keep learning, keep trying, and keep striving to do your best. All right, so here's my journey. I started out, so I came to UNC in 2015. I started out who's done ACSL? Who knows what that is? Nobody here knows? Oh, one person? A couple people know what that is? Okay. So ACSL is a high school computer science contest. So I won ACSL in 2012 and 2013. And oh my god, I totally forgot to put this in here. That actually got me an internship at IBM, where I interned for about 3 years before coming to UNC. And one of the reasons why I came to UNC is because I won the 2015 North Carolina State Math Contest, and that got me a scholarship. And then you'll see that there's a 3-year break where I basically did nothing. That's not actually true. I didn't do nothing that time. That was when I was attending UNC. I was extremely burnt out for the first 2 years I was here because I worked so hard in high school. And so one of the things I want you guys to also think about is don't burn out. There is a balance. You can achieve the balance. So for the first 2 years I was here, I really didn't do that much. I wasn't a really good student. But over time, I kind of realized that, hey, actually, some of this computer science stuff is really interesting. We can get into some of the higher level courses. How many people here are freshmen? Oh, wow, we have quite a lot of freshmen. Okay, what about sophomores? Okay, juniors? All right, seniors. Oh, interesting spread. Okay, mostly sophomores and juniors. I participated in HackNC as a junior, and I also participated in HackNC as a senior, and I didn't finish my project either time, so if you finish your project today, you're ahead of me. But anyway, so I took these 2-year break, and then what I found was that research in computer science is pretty interesting, and who knows who Dr. Martin Steiner is? One person? Okay. He's a faculty member here at UNC, and so I was lucky enough that I was able to get a research position in his lab. And that was actually what kind of kicked my butt back into gear. And I was like, oh, you know what? There's some really cool stuff you can do here. And the research that I did in his lab, he was studying, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, by the way. Okay, oh, 11:30. Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys are in for an adventure. All right, so I was studying, I did research in Dr. Martin Steiner's lab. And at the time, he was studying neuroimaging. So we were looking at macaque brains, because you can't do macaque. That's a type of monkey. It's very similar to humans. The brain structure of macaques are very similar to humans, and so that's why we were studying them. Is we wanted to be able to do automatic segmentation, which is a computer vision concept. We want to automatically segment out subcortical structures from brains. And the reason we wanted to do this is because this is actually a really good way to predict something like neurodegenerative disorders, or perhaps even genetic mutations or genetic disorders, things like autism. There's a lot of different things that being able to automatically segment out the brain lets you do. So I worked on this for about 2 years, produced a 70-page lab paper, and that's actually the 2019 thing at SNCRS, the State of North Carolina Undergraduate Research, I don't know what C stands for, but it's a research thing, so if you guys are freshmen or sophomores, this might be something you want to look into. The 2018 thing, actually, I did as part of something called an REU, a research experience for undergraduates, which if you are interested in research, and if you are a freshman, sophomore, or a junior, you guys should really look into this. You get a nice stipend, especially if you're in Florida where they have no income tax. And you get to do research for about 12 weeks. They just let you kind of mess around and do research. And so I did research on, what did I do research on? Data integrity for mobile systems. So kind of if you guys are going to do something mobile track, the phone track, you might think about something like this, because it's actually still somewhat of an unsolved problem. How do we ensure that the information, the data that we get from our mobile sensors is actually correct? Because a lot of times you're going to run into things like, so for example, this wall here is going to block signals. It's going to block your mobile, Wi-Fi, RSS signals, whatever. And so you're going to run into some issues like this every so often, and you have to find ways to validate that data and make sure that. So that was the research that I did at my REU. And if you guys are working on multiple phone things and you want to come talk to me about it, I see. Okay. If you guys are working on the mobile track and you want to come talk about that with me, feel free to hit me up. Okay. Yeah. So that actually got me my first author paper published to IEEE Big Data, where I went and gave a talk. That was in Seattle. And that led to this. Yeah, so in 2019, I graduated, and as you heard in the last few minutes, I did a lot of research in AI and data, and so I thought I was going to go do a PhD. I was like, I have 2 first author published papers. How could a PhD school not accept me? I applied to 9 of them. I got into 0. But I did get a software engineering job at Amazon. Not a bad deal. And so at Amazon, I worked there for about 13 months. And generated some like $2.5 million in revenue, hundreds of thousands in recurring revenue a month. And from there I was kind of like, hey, if it's possible to generate this kind of value within an existing ecosystem, is it possible to do it? Is it? Okay. Everybody hear me now? Yeah. All right. Cool. So at Amazon, I worked on this thing called AutoML. If you guys haven't heard of AutoML, you should check it out. AutoML is a process or a system or framework or infrastructure, whatever you want to call it. What it is it's a way to ensure that your machine learning models stay up to date over time, as well as manage their entire life cycle. So machine learning models go through life cycles such as training, deployment, inference, drift detection, retraining. This is essentially what the model lifecycle looks like, and so that was what I worked on there. And so a lot of the value that I generated was in data pipelines, and data, and a bunch of data things like that. So I left Amazon because I was like, okay, if I can generate this company millions of dollars, can I do it myself? And the answer is not the first time. So I started my first startup where I did a data, how do I describe this? Data collection and correlation framework. It was an application. I got about 5,000 users. I got some 1,500 followers on social media. And then I was like, I have no idea how to sell this thing. I don't know what I'm doing. So I never figured out how to monetize it. And so I lost a ton of money doing that. And I basically blew my entire life savings doing that. And so I was like, all right, let me go do something else. So I went and I worked in this thing called, Deborah, and that's what I do now. And it was kind of an accident, because I actually got hired onto a company as a full stack engineer, but it turns out that what they actually wanted was they wanted someone who had the ability to do the engineering and write programs and do all this stuff, but also was interested in giving talks. And so probably from the last few minutes, you can tell that I like talking a lot, and yeah, so that's why they had me do this. And it turned out this was something that I thought was pretty fun. I started doing contracts for it, and then I started a second startup because I was itchy, and I was like, oh, I just want to do something cool. And so my second one was natural language processing. I built a natural language processing API in 2021. Who knows what happened in November of 2022 in AI? Come on, somebody out here's that. ChatGPT, yes, exactly. So ChatGPT comes out, I'm 1 year into my startup, we're making a few $100s a month, ChatGPT comes out. Everyone who's using my product is like, guess what, guys? Guess what? ChatGPT does what you do better. And so I was like, oh my god. And sometimes you're just going to run into these things. Sometimes you're just going to find people who are going to build something better than you. And at that point, I was like, I was working on it with a couple of friends, and I was like, we just don't have the energy to pivot. Let's go do something else. So, along that time, ooh, nice! Oh, wow. Okay, Along that time, as I was building this startup, the way that I was able to get customers and the way that I was able to get people to use it was very similar to kind of what I'm doing now. I wrote a software blog, and so at the end of 2022, my software blog reached about 200,000 some people. And this started getting me a lot of recruiting messages, recruiting emails. People would reach out to me basically on a daily basis and be like, are you interested in doing this role at a company? And, oh man, I did not really make these slides really well. I made these in a rush on Friday, so. But anyway, in January 2023, I began hosting this thing called AI Camp in Seattle. So I'm actually based in Seattle. That's, Amazon moved me out to Seattle in 2019 when I graduated UNC. And this is AI Camp is it's kind of like a series of meetups or workshops where people come and they give a tech talk and they talk to you about what they're building and how they're building it. And it's specifically in AI. So the website is aicamp.ai. If you want to look it up, we also have online sessions, at least monthly, if not weekly. But anyway, I digress. As I was saying, I wrote a lot of blog posts, I made some YouTube videos, and then people were just reaching out to me and they were like, hey, do you want to do this as a job? And so I decided that, hey, ChatGPT's basically tanked my product and I don't have the energy to pivot, so I'm gonna go and just take some interviews, do some roles. So in March, I interviewed this company called Zillis, which is where I'm at now. And Zillis was doing something that I thought was really cool. So here's where I'm going to give my plug for Zillis, since they want me to do this. Zillis is creating this thing called a vector database. And my shirt is a shirt of Milvis, which is our open source vector database. And it has a commercially available license. So if you build a company on Milvis, you don't have to pay anything for it. And what is a vector database? A vector database is something that is essentially what is going to be the driver for similarity search, and it's going to be the driver for data injection in the new AI stack. Who's familiar with the 2017, 2022 paradigm of machine learning? Okay, so from this time, there's this thing called MLOps. And essentially what it's focused on is it's putting models into production, monitoring them, and checking them out. And so every company was kind of making their own models for a while. And as we know, in 2022, in November of 2022, ChatGPT took the world by storm, and everybody was like, hey, wait, I don't have to make my own models anymore. These guys have trained this thing with billions of parameters that outperforms any of my models. Why would I bother doing that? And so people stopped doing this. And one of the things that people found as an issue with using large language models for their own use cases is that large language models do not have access to your data. So if you're building an AI application, and I heavily suggest you do, because we are really starting to see huge pickups in the popularity of AI, people started having this issue, and that's when they realized that there was this technology called vector databases, which allow you to insert your data on top of an LLM. And at Zillis, they have been doing this since 2017. They initially started out with fraud or anomaly detection and product recommendations. I mean, when you think about similarity search, these are the things that kind of come to mind unless you are working with large language models, right? And so we've been doing this since 2017, and large language models came, basically the large language model application scene started blooming around April, right as I joined Zillis. Who knows what LangChain is? One person. Wow, really? It's not penetrated the colleges, I guess. What about Llama Index? Dang, okay. You guys gotta check these out. Go check them out. Seriously, LangChain and Llama Index are these two frameworks on building large language model applications that have picked up so much steam, and they've raised so much money. These guys are building something that's really, really cool, and if you're gonna be working in AI, if you're gonna be working in industry, you probably need to know what these things are. Yes, I'll speed it up. So yes, that brings us to October 2023, which is HackNC. I have 4,700 something followers on LinkedIn right now. I want to reach 5,000. Please scan this QR code and help me hit 5,000 followers by the end of the month. If I hit 5,000 followers by the end of the month, I'm going to throw a party. And yeah, so past this to infinity and beyond, I hope to see you guys around. I will be around this afternoon. I have a workshop from 2 to 3 p.m. and then I'll be around to get boba. And yeah, so hit me up if you're doing AI.
Again, we would like to thank all of our sponsors for coming out and helping us make this event happen, as well as our partners. So again, don't forget to get your workshop stickers so you can get boba tea. Lastly, before everyone goes to get Potbelly back at Fetzer, I'm going to give a countdown and I want everyone to shout HackNC. Ready? 3, 2, 1, HackNC! Thank you so much, and let's get Potbelly!